Of Info Television, thanks once more for joining us on this your favorite program, Game of Thrones on Info TV here in Yaoundé. Of course, today we have two major topics that we need to digest in the course of this program, and we'll be talking about the upcoming twin legislative and municipal elections in Cameroon, and of course we'll be asking our panelists who are here with us what are the qualities of the leaders that Cameroonians are expecting in the course of this election or after the election. And apart from that, we'll be taking you out of the country, also talking about Donald Trump's invasion or raid and warning delivered to countries across the globe. And we'll be asking our panelists what is the position of President Paul Biya in the course of this raid that is ongoing in the world today. Of course, we have a plethora of panelists, and with us we are going to present these noble people or notables that are among us today, and they're going to witness new faces on this set. With us we have Dr. Colonel Bajek, who happens to be a Joe strategist. Good evening and welcome to the program, Doctor.
And good evening, and thank you to invite me in this TV program. I'm so happy. It's my first time to be there, and I want to salute very gratefully all the telespectators who are looking at us, and all the panelists who are there. So I hope that I'll continue in English so that we'll improve here the English, and you have a condition here, no English, no French. Eh? Okay, so thank you very much, and thank you again, once again, to have invited me here.
Thank you, Dr. Colonel Bajek, a Joe strategist. And with us also we have a political communicator, strategist also. He's no other person than Dr. Mbok Moise. Good evening and welcome once more to the program.
Good evening, Phillips. Good evening to all my co-panelists. Good evening to the televiewers. It's another challenge today to share this program in English, and we believe we have to run into that, because if we want to change things, we have to force ourselves into newness. So thank you for this another invitation, and we believe with the contribution of the televiewers that we have a better debate today and come out with something different. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moise Mbok, for being with us. It is a privilege, of course. With us also we have a civil society activist. He's no other person than Numfo Lausongwa. Good evening and Happy New Year and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Phil, and good evening to all the millions of viewers of Info TV who are glued to the TV sets, to their TV sets this evening. I want to wish all of them a happy and prosperous New Year 2026 and even beyond. I'm elated to have as co-panelist very iconic gentlemen that I am receiving or that I'm seeing for the first time on the set. I am very proud and elated to have my elder brother, Colonel Bajek, whom I have known for long as Director of Communications in the Ministry of Defense of our nation, who did a wonderful job before going on retirement. I am equally elated to have Dr. Mbok Moise, a very great name in the world of communication. The two communication strategists, I want to, from the bottom of my heart, welcome you and acknowledge your presence, and I am really prepared to learn a lot from you, because you people are trees of knowledge. Wow. I would equally like to say that this program, we have not come here to make a name, but we have come here to use this program as a pedagogic tool to reach out to Cameroonians, to educate our nation, our citizens on the right things to be done in an emerging country like Cameroon. Okay. And I believe that my contributions will go a long way to edify a one united and indivisible Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Lawson Gua, civil society activist, for being once more with us. This is your first time participating on the program on this very year 2026. On my left, we have barrister at law. He's no other person than Michael Lekelefa. Good evening and welcome to the program, barrister.
Good evening, Mr. Enchi. Good evening to my co-panelists and good evening to the televiewers of Info TV. Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to share this panel with, I think, a very rich panel with co-panelists like doctors, and I think the reflection will be a very fruitful one for our nation today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's going to be a fruitful one today. And I'm not leaving the communicator with the SDF political party in Cameroon. He's not a person than Chi Jidone. Good evening, Chi, and welcome to the program once more.
Good evening, my brother. Thank you for having me. I want to thank God for making it possible for us to be here today. I want to greet, on a special note, my co-panelists, most of whom are my seniors. Also to greet our televiewers and the great family of the Social Democratic Front. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TJ Rene. It's going to be a heated debate tonight. But just stay tuned, because we'll be coming immediately with what we have for you as menu tonight. But before we deliver what you need from us, let's have this transition and we'll be back in a moment. Back to your favorite program on your darling television and full TV, and Game of Thrones. I continue with the first topic tonight, and we'll be talking about the legislative and municipal elections that are on, of course, on the way coming. And Cameroonians are expecting the President of the Republic, President Paul Biya, to convene the Electoral College. And of course, Cameroonians are expecting leaders that are fruitful, leaders that, of course, will change the situation when it concerns infrastructural development and the economic situation of Cameroon. And of course, today we commence with you, Dr. Colonel Bajek, who happens to be a geostrategist. You are somebody who is highly intellectual. And when you look at the political atmosphere in Cameroon today, you come to discover that in no distant time, President Paul Biya will convene the Electoral College for the legislative and the municipal elections in the country. Now, do you think there are some qualities that Cameroonians are expecting from these politicians in order to go ahead with their daily activities, political activities in their various constituencies in Cameroon?
Of course, the upcoming municipal and legislative elections represent a major challenge for Cameroon as they concern election of grassroots actors who are expected to implement the development of Cameroon projects at the departmental and municipal level. So that this process implies a different management paradigm, and namely that of decentralization. So they are concerned with the evolutions of the environment, first of all, and they have to represent really the population on top they are. So we have an existential needs of the populations, and I hope that the people who are waiting to be voted will be the best person. And I hope also that we will look toward the women and the young people who are very important now to build this Cameroon.
When you talk about looking towards the direction of women and the youth today, do you think some of these youth that they are aspiring to see them among political positions in the country, do you think they are actually capable of doing that?
Yes, because
do they have the experience?
Yes, we have to renew the political. Yes, it is very important at this point of the time, because I think that we have to think about the new things. So I think that we have to renew this is the particular option that I have in my mind, is to renew all the political classes, because things have to be changed. Okay.
Things have to be changed, and that's what you're saying, Dr. Colonel Bajek. It is very obvious. I'll still remain with you for some time. It is very obvious that Cameroonians want to see change. They want to see development. They want to see they want their economic situation to be transformed, and some of these powers are delegated to these political entities and authorities. Now, when you look at Cameroon tonight, or when you look at Cameroon from its entirety, do you think that what Cameroonians are expecting from these youths, do they have them?
Yes. I want to tell you something which is very important, is that we don't want hyper-cognitive brilliance, but we want an hyper-practical effectiveness, you see. And you have to make the very good sharing with the knowledge and the practical on the field. Is that we want? You know, it's not what can I say? The
Savoir-faire? We have the savoir-faire.
Yeah, the savoir-faire. But you see, now you have practical people. You can have two different politicians in front of you, but you have somebody who is talking only of the politics. It's not what we want at this point of the time. We want somebody, some people who are in the real politics, who knows exactly what they have to do to implement it, what is important for Cameroon at this point of the time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Colonel Bajek. I will commence with you also. On my left, we have Dr. Moise Mbok. You are a political communication strategist, and when it concerns administration and political positions in the country, you have an insight relating to this. Now, tell us, when you look at the atmosphere, political atmosphere in Cameroon, you know, this time we'll be expecting the twin elections in the country, and there are people who are going out there convincing Cameroonians, making them to understand that they are the best. Some mayors right now, they are out there wanting to carry out a developmental project that has been within their powers for quite some years. But it is now that they are coming up with these activities. Do you think that Cameroonians will want somebody that give what they want or preach aspirations?
No, the truth is that we are from a presidential election where people witness different revendications. Cameroonians now are more like concerned by what is happening, by those that are leading the country, by a program, by a society that is moving forward. So today we are in a situation where Cameroonians in the village, in cities, and the diaspora are like coming together through social measures to think Cameroonians together. It means that those who are leading us, they are not alone, and they cannot just stand and declare things and people follow.
So you are talking about coming together, work in collaboration with the population, and once a politician do have these qualities, you expect him to be a better leader. That's what you're telling us.
In fact, the politicians today must take into consideration all those different components of the society, diaspora, people from the village and people from the cities, because all of them are talking together. Today, we have WhatsApp in our villages. We have all the social medias in our villages, in cities and in diaspora. So people in diaspora, they know that to have water is something normal. People in the cities, they know to have water is something normal. People in the villages now, they expect a leader that will bring those things. So it means that to be a leader today, you have to work on all those areas, because if you are not doing that, the populations will remind you that you are not qualified to lead them. Because it's not only having a title, it's to bring development and bring the area you're in charge to compete with other areas, because today we have this competition of a clean city, for instance. So, you know, now all the Cameroonians are getting into competition. So the best roads, electricity, waters, and development. So today Cameroonians are awake, and these presidential elections brought more light into what is not done and what is supposed to be done. So Cameroonians today are expecting a leader They will not just come and talk good French or wonderful English, but that will show them that this is where we are going, and this is how we will get there, and those are the people we need to get there. So it's something that is so clear today. So the way to talk have changed after these presidential elections, and people must be aware of that. The Cameroonians, we no more want somebody that will speak well, but somebody that will show them the direction. That this is where we are going by using this mean, and that mean. So today, I believe this competition will be very different. It's so serious that you will get into some meetings, you will see people leave the meeting. But because of a leader that is talking nonsense.
Doctor, it's very obvious that during elections, we see politicians come up with bags of rice, convincing the electors, producing speeches that are very enticing to the ears, subjecting their authority to them. Do you think, and after that, we see them no more. We see words that have been abandoned. We keep hearing of monies that can't be actually managed. We see people saying things that are not understandable. Now tell us, is this the kind of people that we are expecting in the next municipal legislative elections?
Not at all. Not at all. Because as I was saying, if you get into a meeting with your rice, with your rapas, and all those things, they will take it. But they will not follow you. Because they're not following a group or a political party, but they are following a direction. And today, all political leaders must understand what I'm saying. It's a matter of direction, not a speech, but a direction. Where are we going? Our mothers, our youth, our women are now aware that we can get into this level, into that stage, and they want a leader that will show them the direction and start to bring them in that direction. And it's not only the way you speak, it's what you say and what you do on the spot. Because when you want to bring people somewhere, you're not just coming and talking. You talk, you present things, and you show some proofs on the spot. So you see that now politics becomes practical. It's no more something that people just talk abstract. It's practical. And today, you come with a bag of rice, they will take it. You come with all your gift, they will take it. But if you, as a politician, you come and say, okay, young people, we have lands everywhere. I believe that we can get into farming, and I have already took measures to bring you seeds and so on, and we believe that this our area can carry more plantains or cocoyams or whatever, and let's walk into that direction. Now is a direction. People will follow the direction, not good speeches.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moise Mbok, for such an elaboration. People, what they want are not good speeches, but they want action. I'll come to you, Chi Jedone. You are a communicator with the SDF, Social Democratic Party in Cameroon, opposition party. And it's very obvious that your party do have councils in Cameroon. They had councils, and they do have a council in Cameroon that they are managing. And it is very obvious that your party also is intending to go in for the upcoming legislative and municipal elections. Now, when you look at the atmosphere, do you think that those who are aspiring to take this position or man this position of authority, political position in the country, not leaving out some of your party members, are you expecting something marvelous from them? Because we are in a moment of change and not a moment of talking.
Thank you very much. You know, the SDF is power to the people. The spirit of the SDF is being at the service of the people. And the Cameroonian people deserve better. And those that are truly SDF have to, put themselves up to expectation to be able to deliver. That said, before I continue, I want to first of all underline the importance of council and parliamentary elections. You see, you cannot rule a country without parliament. That's why the CPDM always tell you majorité confortable, majorité confortable. But majorité, a comfortable majority to do what? They have proven to us over the years that they want the comfortable majority to dilapidate the resources of Cameroon and do whatsoever they want with it. It's a clear message to those that are not okay with it, like myself, and probably the majority of Cameroonians, to understand that when we have parliamentary elections, we should understand that these are the elections that will permit us practically to be able to control Cameroon.
If you keep insisting on the fact that you're talking about the CPDM, because it's like you are doing a comparison between your party and the CPDM, which of course do have a majority of the councils throughout the national territory today. Your council, your party had in the past councils, but today you are limited just to one council. Does that mean, or does it signify that your party had not the manpower to produce the results expected by Cameroonians, and the CPDM has already conquered the entire territory?
Dear brother, I will come to my party and I will answer that question. I was trying to put to establish a general base with respect to the election we are talking about before I come to what party has done and what party is promising or what we have to offer. I'm saying that legislative and municipal elections are very important elections, because for the legislative election you need parliamentarians, especially the National Assembly, to be able to control, to be able to execute policy. If you don't have them, you cannot execute policy. Many a times we have problems in this country. We have been blaming President Paul Biya for this. We think he should do this. We think he should do that. But you keep asking yourself, why is it that things are stagnant? It's because the apparatus with which we would have caused him institutionally to do those things, we don't have control of it. His people have control of it, and they do whatever they like. So Cameroonian people that are thinking contrary should know that this is the institutional instrument that they need to get a change. Those who even think that we have to go to a federal state, like us, some of us, should understand that this is the institutional instrument that they want. Those who think that, who are for the fact that we need to have a sincere dialogue or sincere dialogues in Cameroon, like the President of the Republic has now said that we go to community dialogue, and to an extent, I'm okay with him. Because we in the SDM were one of those that have always called on the President to organize a sincere dialogue. He has always responded by organizing talk shows. All right, we take note that he organized talk shows. This is an opportunity. He has said, all right, as if he is acknowledging failure, that I have not been able to organize a good dialogue. I've been organizing talk shows. Now I give you the opportunity to organize your community dialogues. Talk among yourselves. And who are the leaders to carry such initiatives? This election is an opportunity for the people to elect people who can be able to carry such initiatives. Let us prove to the world what we call sincere dialogue. And before you cut me, a special message to those of the Northwest and Southwest regions. We have been calling for that sincere dialogue within the context of the Anglophone crisis. And I'm talking directly to the armed groups and all actors in the Northwest and Southwest. If we have called on the head of state to provide conditions for a sincere dialogue and he is unable to do it, he has given us the opportunity to prove him wrong. Let us in the communities begin to provide the conditions for sincere dialogue. Unconditional dialogue. Don't tell somebody that if the person is not CPDM, you don't want to see the person. Don't tell somebody that please let me just land on this. This is very important.
It's very important, but the question is very simple. Cameroonians are preparing to welcome the legislative and municipal elections in the country. It is very obvious that people want to see progress. People want to see change. People don't want to hear sweet messages or whatsoever talks that will maybe entice them today and see them suffer tomorrow. Now, what are those qualities are you expecting? Do you think that those who are in power, those who manage the situations, I'm talking about the parliamentarians and the mayors previously, because in the month of February we'll be expecting maybe their final goodbye to the National Assembly and so on and so forth. Now, do you think that those who are coming in the coming days are supposed to, what are they supposed to do? What are you expecting from them? What are the qualities that you are expecting from them?
Very fast, Enche, very fast. And we now establish the base for municipal elections. Section 5 of the Decentralization Code makes of decentralization the engine for local development. This is to underline, I had already underlined the importance of legislative elections. You have to control the country at national level, you need National Assembly. Now, you want to impulse development, you need the councils. Section 5 is very clear on that. That decentralization is the engine for local development. Yeah. We are federalists, and we are going to perfect this decentralization. But it's important for the people to understand that when you are going to vote a young man as mayor, you are going to vote that driver, the person who is going to control that development engine. And they don't have to joke about it. They don't have to joke about it. That's why you see me insisting in the Northwest and Southwest region today, because if people have problems in Cameroon, the people in the Northwest and Southwest have those problems times 10. Having said that, coming back to the qualities, at this point in time, Cameroonians need representatives and elected officials in charge of local governance who represent the people quantitatively and qualitatively. Quantitatively meaning that the representatives, the mayors, the councillors, and the parliamentarians that are supposed to be elected are supposed to be people that reflect the reality on the ground. I'll give you an example. The Cameroonian population is youthful. We need youthful people in councils and parliament, not because they are youths. I will come to the qualitative part. We need youthful people in council and parliament. The Cameroonian population is made up of a majority of poor people and the middle class. We need that category of people in parliament and in the councils. Qualitatively, the Cameroonian population is having serious problems. We have problem of development. We have problem of our national unity. We have problem of how do we even construct that national unity, which is being able to carry out the dialogue. So, with respect to the problems, we need people who have the right vision to be able to address these problems.
Thank you.
And when I will be talking again, I will let you know what the SDF is proposing with respect to the vision to address these problems. We have been able to handle councils, and I want to tell you that we have our footprints in the councils that we have had. But because of one reason or the other, we do not have the councils today. But the younger generation, and I want to underline the fact my senior man beside me told you that there is need to renew the political class generationally. When you look at the generation of President Paul Biya and all those that are around him, you understand that they have done their own. And the book of Ecclesiastes says that you should serve the Lord your God in the days of your youth. And we are also saying that the young people deserve the opportunity and should go for the opportunity to serve their country while they are young. So that while we are blaming Paul Biya today, we should not sit here and stay in office while we are old and let others be blaming us.
Thank you very much, Chidorone, communicator with the SDF political party in Cameroon. I'll come to you, Numfo Laosongwa. You are a civil society activist, and it is no news that the twin election are fast approaching, and they are waiting for the yes or okay from President Paul Biya to convene the electoral college in the country. Now, I'll put this into you. Leadership today, people say it's been questioned. People keep saying that they want changes. Youth says that they want jobs. The economic situation, people are complaining that things are not moving. Do you think it is due to the fact that the leaders or these municipal councillors or those who are in power are not doing their job properly? And what are they supposed to do?
Thank you, Phil. The municipal elections is a bottom-top management approach par excellence. Because, you know, with municipal elections, it is a grassroots election where development starts from the base. And the grassroots actors, the population at the base, they give the desiderata, they determine what they want, and you know, people who have to intervene at that level are community actors, community agents. So for the municipal election to be successful, we need people who can mobilize the grassroots. It is not about being a successful municipal election, because it is going to be successful in the coming days. Because all the measures that, of course, ought to be, all the measures that are supposed to be put in place are already there. So there is nothing like it's not going to be pitch free. Now the question is very clear. Quality of people who should be voted. The question is very clear, Numfo Laoson. Yes. What are Cameroonians expecting? What kind of leader? What kind of leadership qualities? Are they expecting somebody who will come and bring bag of rice and say, look, these are bag of rice, you can eat today and tomorrow they disappear? That's what you are saying. Please just allow me to speak. That's what I was talking about, community actors, community mobilizers, you know. And these community mobilizers are people that the community knows. You know, when you live in a community, you know people who can go around and mobilize the population towards just even clearing a gutter or, you know, doing one aspect for the community that will help the community. Then there's a difference between those people and those who come up with bags of rice during elections. In this election that is coming up, Phil, we want parties to dissociate, or we want candidates to make a clear-cut difference between the achievements of a political party leader and a party. There's a difference between, for example, the achievements of President Biya and the CPDM and what a candidate is going to bring in to, you know, to impact the life of a council. What we should tell people in this election is that candidates should not stand and come and say that no, President Biya has done this, so you should vote for me. No, we want people who should come in with a personal input. What are the problems that you have seen in your local community? Identify the problems. Okay, what are the solutions that you think you can, if elected, you will bring to solve that problem? That is what we want to see.
So you're talking about problem solvers and not
problem
talkatives.
Solvers, not talkatives. Not people who bring money. Because those people who bring money and bags of rice, they are political sycophants. They are sycophants. You know, they are people who look for positions. They are not interested in the development of the community. So, you see...
So you're telling Cameroonians that these people should be kicked out?
Of course. The electorate should flush them out. They should know those type of people, and when they come talking to them, they should be able to distinguish between them and real men and women who can mobilize a community. You know,
but if the financial capability is not present, what do you think?
And that is why we are discouraging this aspect of what we talk in on some parties, this aspect of party discipline, where at one moment when it is time for the constitution of list, they will say that a list has come from the central committee and so on and so forth. Parties should allow, if there is a possibility, parties should organize primaries so that the grassroots population should select the people, their community mobilizers, their community agents who are purveyors of change at local level, so that when they are elected into office, they will be able to mobilize the grassroots through community development agents. You know, they'll be able to work, identify the problems of the community and provide solutions to them.
Thank you very much, Lausin Angwanumfo, a civil society activist. I'll come to you, Barrister Lekelefa Kamaike. You are happy and at one point in time not too comfortable with some of the declarations made by other panelists that today you are a barrister at law. It is very obvious that you understand the legal jargons or the legal gymnastic that some of these mayors and even parliamentarians do manifest within their term or during their term of mandate and in Cameroon. Now tell us, it is very obvious that Cameroonians need change. It is very obvious that Cameroonians need potable water. They need to improve their living standards and their living conditions in the country. Do you see somebody within the parties, various parties that do have position of responsibility or political positions? Do you see somebody that ought to stay and somebody that needs to leave after or before the election?
Thank you, Mr. Enchi. I think with respect to elections in Cameroon, the history will tell us that for some time now, one can presumably say that elections are convened with results, with expected results perhaps none, because we have seen opposition on a perpetual decry of fraud and all the like. Before these elections, we have seen issues like we see administrators who are managing administrative units who are due retirement, who still keep being there. So one can begin to question.
No, but these positions, barrister, it is very obvious. It is very clear, barrister.
Why am I saying this, Mr. Enchi? Let's not be blinded with the question of organizing elections. Organizing election is not sufficient, but the conditions organizing the elections will permit whether results will be credible. A person who is a person who we are talking about charismatic leaders. with the charismatic leaders will not come from air, but they are coming from the community, and the community is within a particular context. We are look about past elections. Why is it that it doesn't mean that these people have not been in the past elections? We've seen people have been deprived, whose victories have been stolen within their respective communities, parliamentary and councils alike. So today, I think if we are talking about leadership, Cameroon in its vast majority today stand in the need of peace and reconciliation. And this is the essence. This should be the central message, or the central point of contention that should every Cameroonian, every young leader or every aspiring leader should be thinking of how to build peace, how to build reconciliation within his or her constituency. And for this to be done, the election which we are looking at it should not be as previous elections, because if they go by way of previous elections, then this mission will not be attained.
So are you telling Cameroonians that those who are in a position of responsibility presently, they are not doing their job?
I think that when we look at what is going on today, there is a lot of circumstances in administration where when you get into the, why is it that we keep on decrying issues of potable waters, we keep on decrying issues of electricity and bad roads and all the like, and we have people who are there. And that is why I started by talking about administrators, because when you look at, we are talking about election management bodies and the relationship between elections and these administrators, you discover that you can come up as a young charismatic leader within your legislative or municipal circumscription, but for the fact that the people who are there are opposed because they see you as a threat to their position, they'll simply play over with their fight.
So you're telling, we've
seen candidates who decry that they could not, their documents could not be certified before administrative authorities. So these are factors which we should not neglect as we are preparing to go for elections. So that is why I think today, like a patriotic Cameroonian, it's not that I don't believe in elections, but I think today the elections in our country are questionable, and the door to solve our problems should not even be by elections, but we should look into reconciliation first, because through reconciliation we shall solve problems. But we going by elections again, I am afraid we should not organize elections to put others, to put some again on exile, as some are already on exile.
Thank you very much, Barrister Lekelefak Michael, for an edification of this magnitude. I'll come to you, Dr. Colonel Abajek. It is very obvious that in Cameroon you can actually, if at one point in time you can't explain very well in English, you can say it in French. It's okay, Doctor. Now, it's very obvious that in Cameroon today, some people will say powers are being given to what they do describe in the quartier as man no man. Like if you are in a political party and the upcoming elections are fast approaching, you select who you think you are in good relationship with the person. Now, do you think this has been what maybe this has been one of the cause of not finding a good leader? Is this, do you buy the idea? Do you identify this as a problem within the society today?
No, I think that you have some key components that can help us to see exactly the digestible phenotype. Yes. First of all, you should have people who are territorial representative, so that there will be mediators of local interest. You cannot. You have been voted for a country, for a zone. It's not for all the national country. You have to discuss and
to work in the interest of those
absolutely
who you are working with.
You have to know the signal for external partners. You have to see the narrative vectors of the country. And for the key component, you have the cognitive legibility, the symbolic sobriety. So that you have to be aware of the situation of the world, you see. And it's what I call in the geopolitical the real politic. And you are not a stranger of the politics.
Yeah.
You have to be a realist of what you have to lead, and you know that you improve the development of your population who has voted to you, so that the problem that you have are not the same problem that another parliamentary can have. You see, so I think that is to be a realist. But I want to come back for what the barrister said. Now is how those people will be voted, so that you have to see again the process, if the process have been changed, because you have many things to say against the process.
You're talking about the electoral process?
Absolutely, yeah. Because if you don't choose, if the mechanism do not change, because it is the same difficulty that we have. Yes, absolutely. So we want to have the best people at the top of the department of the councils.
But doctor, if actually during the campaign or in the course of these political relationship that these authorities are having in the course of their political background, now if they do not have a strong relationship with the population, do you think that the population will be able to vote them into power?
No. How can they be the mediators of local interest? No. They have to be chosen by the population. This is the first step of this condition is that, okay. So the thing that I want to say, it is the best representations of parts of the country, so that you are different, and there is not a man who can represent more the local region than a representative.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, that's what you're telling us. It's very pertinent, because at one point in time, some people believe that to man a position of power, you must have a connection with somebody, or maybe related to somebody, and that's the mentality or the knowledge that some Cameroonians do have, that there are certain people who are in power. They did not vote for them, but unfortunately at one point in time they just meet them in power and they are controlling things, and today they are crying. Do you think something needs to be done in that direction?
Absolutely. I think that I want to see people who are representing the population, their population, because there is no man can exactly judge the problem that you have if you are not in this population.
On the field. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Colonel Didier Bajek, for such an elaboration. We are almost coming to the first phase of this program. I'll take your own opinion, civil society activists. It is very obvious that Cameroonians right now need change. Cameroonians are tired of words that are above their own understanding. Big words. Some of these politicians drives in big cars. They do live a flamboyant lifestyle. But meanwhile, there are some people in the various villages who are finding it difficult to access 500 francs a day, or to have just a bread per day. Now tell us, do you think that these politicians that are coming up, or that are expected to man position of responsibility in the days ahead, need actually to connect directly, one-on-one, with the population? Is that a quality that you are expecting, or you want them to be representing their people or their population only in conferences?
The quick answer is yes. We want people who know the problems of their society, of their environment. People who have a thorough mastery of the problems of their communities. And that is why in the condition, one of the conditions for eligibility should be, there is a document that is always signed at the level of the DO's office. It is called the residency document. The candidates must show proof that they are really resident in that community for as long as possible, so that that condition enables the voters to know that this person is domiciled in this constituency. He knows the problems of that community, and he can look for solutions to the problems of that society. Because unlike in the past where mayors and even councillors used to be projected or used to be imposed on the local population from the central committees of some parties and so on and so forth. They will be voted and then they will end up staying in Yaoundé or in Douala and leaving the councils empty like that without any person to watch over them. Secondly, concerning parliamentary elections, Phil, this is the turning point in the parliamentary history of Cameroon.
Are they useful in the parliament?
They are, they can be useful. It depends on how you make yourself useful.
Yeah.
The parliament is the talking shop of every nation, where ideas, that is why parliamentarians have parliamentary immunity. You cannot, in the exercise of his duty, you cannot hold a parliamentarian accountable. You cannot drag him to court easily. He is supposed to have that immunity so that he can express the problems of the population, being an elected representative of the population. Our parliament, the next parliament that Cameroonians are expected to vote, must bear in mind that constitutional amendment is key. Our parliament, our democratic institutions fall short of so many other institutions, democratic institutions in Africa. There is a lot that we have to do, our parliament has to do. The nationality code, we have to cite a new nationality code so as to allow our diasporan youths to come back and man the councils because they have a lot of money. They have a lot of money. If that dual nationality is signed and they come back, they'll be able to not only be elected at the level of the councils, but they'll even use their money to finance projects at the level of the councils. We have the code, the electoral code, to be revisited, the constitution to be revisited, and so many other things. The Anglophone crisis can be solved in parliament within a week.
Thank you very much.
Within a week.
Thank you very much, Nufo Lawson, for such an edification. I'll come to you, Chijirone, your last appraisal concerning this topic, because we are coming to the end of the first phase. We have other two panelists that will need to take their own opinions. Now, we have parliamentarians who are, of course, in the various National Assembly and even senators in Cameroon today. Do you think that something more is expected of these people, even those of your party?
Of course, something more is expected of the representatives of the people. First of all, that the representatives that are going to be elected should be those that actually represent the people, like I said, quantitatively. It should not be another show where the bourgeoisie is maintained. It doesn't matter whether through my party or any other party, but the stakes is that we have, the history of the evolution of nations has always been the struggle between social classes. And in Cameroon, we discovered that the gap between the poor and the rich is increasing at a geometric rate, every day. So we need representatives that actually reflect the reality of Cameroon, who are not from the bourgeoisie.
But they have been working over the past years.
Pardon?
They have been working over the past years.
Of course, if this program, your time is very limited to give the balance sheet of the SDF. I want to tell you that if we want to talk about a political party that has made Cameroonians feel that there is still a National Assembly, it is a Social Democratic Front. The balance sheet is there. The fight against corruption that you are having today, Operation Sparrowhawk, what they call Operation Epervier, and all the special criminal court and all that, was created because of the SDF. The 1996 constitution that you have today was created because of the activism of the SDF. The ELECAM you have today was created because of the activism of the SDF, led by its parliamentarians.
The National Assembly.
The balance sheet, please, I want to tell you, it's very important. You have been insisting on this. I want to tell you, nobody, it is down in the records, that if today we are talking about a National Assembly, that Cameroonians can still even know that the institution exists, it's thanks to the SDF, it's thanks to representatives of the SDF. If not, it would have just been a hand-clapping house. But we are saying that today, Cameroonians have to go to the polls and bring back those representatives that resemble them, that are in their reality, to come and articulate solutions to their problems.
Thank you very much, Tijirone, for your elaboration. Dr. Moise Borg, coming to the end of this program. Cameroonians need actors. Cameroonians need action. Cameroonians need result. Are you in or out of that?
Definitely, we need the result. There's something I want to say, and I hope I will make Cameroonians understand this fact. There is before 2025, 12th of October, and after. The after is that after 43 years, everybody have learned. Cameroonians have learned, politicians have learned, populations have learned, everybody have learned. And there is no way today to go otherwise. And we have to grow in such a way in our societies that we must choose the people we can talk to, we can relate to, and we can let them know what we want, and we can see that they can flow in that realm.
Not power mongers.
For sure. And we must grow to another level. Abroad is done this way. You're a mayor, you're a parliamentarian, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're no more coming in the village or in our area. We send you out until you do what you have to do. Cameroonians must get into that level where our representatives must know that you are not in to joke, you are not in to play with our future. We are in for a serious matter. So today, everybody have learned. If you want to be one of those people that we conduct development and so on, populations are watching, and that we take measures, because it's no more time for for joke or to just wait. Okay, they are in this strong party, no one can do anything to them. No, it was before. Today, we stop mayors, we send them out if there's no result. Thank
you very much, Dr. Moise Ambok, for such an elaboration. But before we take your own last opinion, let me get some of the reactions of Cameroonians. Of course, this is somebody that's writing us from Obili. Her name is Blessing. Good evening, dear panelists. I love your program. I always watch them on daily basis. I'm very delighted to see Dr. Colonel Didier Bajek on set. He's speaking so well. This program is very interesting. Keep going forward. Yes. Blessing writing us from Obili. Thank you, Blessing. This other person is writing us also from Bafusam. Good evening, dear panelists. Wonderful program and wonderful elaboration with wonderful gentlemen on set today. Your panel is full of intellectuals today. Greetings to Dr. Moise Ambok. Greetings to Dr. Colonel Bajek for his presence. It is wonderful. We are happy to see people like this are on set. We keep watching your program on daily basis. Thank you very much for your program. Thank you for your reactions. We take this other person that is writing us also from Ngaoundere. Good evening, dear panelists. I am Umaru Dasaka from Ngaoundere. I just want to tell our panelists that in Cameroon today, we have a problem of leadership, and the leadership qualities that we need in Cameroon today, we need people that do acknowledge the problems that Cameroonians are facing on daily basis. Us in the Adamawa region, we are not going to vote for anybody that will promote violence, neither come to messages are not clear, or neither than standing against development and prosperity. That is what you are trying to tell us tonight. Of course, the messages are so many. This is somebody, Loic. This is also Loic writing us from France. Good evening, dear panelists. I love your program. I keep watching them on every Tuesdays and Saturdays. And of course, I don't know how you watch them, but on Saturdays we do just a rebroadcast. The person keeps telling us that I love your program, and I want us to understand in this country that in Cameroon that all we need is peace, prosperity, and development. Those leaders that are supposed to be elected in the upcoming elections, they are supposed to take into consideration the aspirations and the needs and demands of the population. That's somebody writing us from France, of course. Thank you very much. The messages are so many, we can't actually take all of them as of now. There are so many writing us across the borders of Cameroon. Now, take your last word, Dr. Barrister Lekelefak and Michael. It is very obvious that Cameroonians are saying that they want peace, they want development, they want somebody that they can relate with. Are you in line with this situation, or you think that we need people that needs to sit in their offices, come after and tell Cameroonians that everything is well?
No, to me, we need, like the qualities that we are talking. I think we should not, Cameroonians should not vote for people who are promising, but people who have a vision, who are already who are presenting, who can identify their problems and propose a solution. And to talk a bit with what Mr. Chi was talking about, so much emphasizing on the northwest and the southwest regions, from where I come from, I will beg that let the funds who have been because for some time now, I will want to tell you that when we talk about elections back in the regions, there are simply the funds and a group of elites who have become the people of the northwest and the southwest in elections. This is not, and Mr. Bia is very, very happy when the results come out because maybe it is in his favor, but this is not a reflection of the reality. So if we are looking at these elections, I pray that the prerogative of the President of the Republic, the law gives him the latitude that he can even extend the elections. Why? Because peace initiatives are more laudable than organizing elections, which may tend to bring more tension. We cannot be going for elections when the main political opposition today may not be participating as we saw in the regional elections and all the like. They are
opposition political parties in Cameroon. There is no main opposition political party in the country. We have oppositions.
It's not a question of opposition, but when you say there is a leader of opposition and it is we have.
I don't think the opposition party do have a leader.
No, when we talk, we are talking from past. We are talking from past elections.
No, I think I can say something about it. We had a presidential election. We had a second. There is a leader. There is a leader. The problem is that they must work together in such a way that we have, at the end of the day, peace. Because everybody wants peace. Yes. We should not behave as if there's nothing. No, there is. There is. But we have to work together and bring this thing
we need each other. We need each other to build a nation.
That nascent attitude should stop.
Thank you.
Please,
just a few seconds.
Yes, very brief. On the issue of leader of the opposition, leadership of the opposition is within the institutions. I'm very okay with the issue of appeasement, that we have to take cognizance of the fact that we have issues after the presidential elections, we have issues of Anglophone crisis and all that, which are still very pertinent, that we can address very briefly, if very fast, if the political will is there. But it's important to underline that opposition leadership in the opposition is determined by presence within the institutions. After presidential elections, somebody can come second and whatsoever, but that does not make the person the leader of the opposition. This is constitutionality. That is how it is.
We can discuss about it.
Thank you very much.
I want to make an appeal very briefly. For the people to actually, for leaders to actually represent the people, they must be able to carve out the constituencies properly.
Thank you.
So it is important for Cameroon to have a census, and we reshape the different electoral constituencies, because you find a parliamentarian in some areas equivalent to 5 or 6 parliamentarians in another area.
Thank you very much.
Representation is not good.
Thank you very much, televiewers. We've come to the end of the first part of this program, and of course we have another topic that we'll be treating in the course of this very program, talking about Donald Trump's raid. What is the stand of President Paul Biya in the country? And of course we have geostrategies and also a communicator, a political communicator who happens to have an insight concerning this. So we'll be back in a moment to continue with this program. We'll be back. Today, it is very obvious across the globe that the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, of course, had to manage to secure the presence of the Venezuelan president in his custody. And of course, this particular situation has been a cause for concern. And aside that, there has been a series of warnings to other countries across the globe, not leaving out Iran today and other countries. And it is a serious call for concern. Recently, we saw how diplomats had to pay a visit to President Paul Biya, wishing him Happy New Year. And the President of the Republic of Cameroon, President Paul Biya, came out with a speech saying that these countries or everybody had to respect or ought to respect international law, meaning that they ought to respect the various boundaries that has been demarcated by those concerned. And of course, this is what we'll be talking today, asking our panelists, what is the position of President Paul Biya in relations to this, as Cameroon, of course, to an extent do share a wonderful tie with the Washington or with United States of America. I'll comment with you, Dr. Colonel Bajek Didier. It is very obvious that you are a geostrategist, and when it concerns issues like this, you have a deep insight in relations to this. Now, tell us, do you think the relationship between America or between Cameroon and America will continue to reign? And do you think that President Paul Biya, to an extent, condemns the actions of Donald Trump?
I don't think so. He'll not do. And you know, the problem that we have at this point of the time reflects more about contemporary media anxiety than about coherent strategic analysis. And extract speculative or not illuminated reality, but reinforce pre-constructed and simplistic narrative. The problem that you have in Cameroon, you will not have the same problem in Nigeria, in Iran, or in Venezuela. And recurrent analytical error make a mechanically transposition situation for one geopolitical content to another. We are not Venezuela, as I've told you, and each of the cases emerged from this distinct strategic ecosystem, involves different balance of power, levels of institutional resilience, alliance structure is not the same thing. And you know, we have a way of our diplomatic direction. Yes, the President Paul Biya will condemn because he's a man of peace, but it will not be more than that. It will stop there. We have a man like Donald Trump, which has some virility without paranoia. We can say that he controls strategic flows. He wants to control the energy, the maritime routes, financial circuits. He wants to preservation of critical regional stability and containment of disruptive collapse. So I don't think that it is a different. It is a different condition that you cannot apply it in Cameroon.
Now, Doctor, it is very obvious when you look at the political and economic atmosphere today across the globe. You come to bear with me that Cameroon, of course, do share a very strong ties with the US of A. After the just ended October 12 presidential elections, a congratulatory message was being sent to President Paul Biya, congratulating him for his brilliant performance in the ongoing or the just ended presidential elections in Cameroon. And recently we saw during the end of the mandate of the actual ambassador, US ambassador to Cameroon, who just left the country. Before leaving, we saw him visiting some of the spokesperson or the spokesperson of the opposition party leader in Cameroon. We're talking about Issa Chiroma. She's no other person than Barrister Liscom. And there were declarations that came out saying that the barrister keeps saying that America do have a very powerful relationship with this opposition party leader, not leaving out the party itself. Now, do you think with the situation that happened, post-electoral crisis, and a lot of complaints that were being sent aside or sent to the international community, do you think that USA might have a different opinion concerning the atmosphere of Cameroon?
You know, I have to tell that Cameroon is a regional stabilizer. First of all, you have to consider this mark, which are very important. Regional stabilizer in a volatile sub-region. And anti-jihadist buffer and a non-versatile actor that has not oscillated dangerously between rivals. Just for these 3 facts, the choice is enough. Okay? So, you cannot have, if you want me to say it in French, in the international relations, il y a ce qu'on appelle des marqueurs qui sont fondamentaux de la stabilisation.
You can continue in French.
Yeah.
Hein? Et c'est extrêmement important. C'est-à-dire qu'il faudrait que je le dise en français parce que c'est extrêmement pertinent ce que je vais dire. Les pays ne s'encombrent pas des amitiés futiles. Les pays s'encombrent, n'est-ce pas, des amitiés pertinentes. En ce moment, qu'est-ce que le Cameroun représente au niveau de l'Afrique régionale et l'Afrique centrale? Le Cameroun est un verrou stratégique. Quelle que soit la condition que le Cameroun pourrait présenter sur le plan politique, sur le plan géopolitique ou sur le plan géostratégique, vous devez savoir que l'intérêt des États-Unis, c'est d'être capable de pouvoir poursuivre son business et avoir toujours, n'est-ce pas, une perception influente sur cette zone-là que certains pays ont perdu, parce que certains pays, visiblement, comme la France, ont perdu pied au niveau de notre pays. Qu'à partir de ce moment-là, il faudrait regarder ce qui aurait pu arriver si jamais le Cameroun ne pouvait pas opposer une barrière stratégique entre le golfe de Guinée et le golfe d'Aden. Vous auriez eu toute la moitié de la calotte africaine. Ça, je suis obligé de le dire en français parce que c'est des termes absolument techniques.
Continue in French.
Ok, so, les États-Unis aujourd'hui n'ont pas les mêmes problèmes. On a dit que le centre de gravité des États-Unis s'est déplacé vers l'Asie du Sud-Est et l'Asie du Nord-Est. Voilà. Mais moi, j'ai toujours dit ici là, que la guerre entre l'Ukraine et la Russie est un échauffement. La véritable guerre qui est en train de se préparer, c'est celle qui s'annonce entre la Chine et Taïwan. Il y a des essais qui sont faits. Cette guerre est toujours mise sur la table comme étant une sorte de chantage. Mais je devrais dire que il faudrait savoir qu'aujourd'hui, nous sommes dans une destruction pratiquement totale de ce multilatéralisme qui est en train de se créer, avec des positions alternatives d'un bloc.
Before you continue, it's very obvious in Cameroon today that the state of Cameroon do have a very powerful relations with Russia and China when it concerns economy and so on and so forth. And today we are seeing the US of A invading other countries, and of course at one point in time China and even Russia isn't happy with such an invasion, and they keep sending signals that please stop, you need to stop, if not there's going to be a problem. Now come to the case of Cameroon. Cameroon, with this powerful relationship that it do have with China and Russia, do you think that in case President Trump continue with his invasion and with the relationship that it has with Cameroon, do you think at one point in time Cameroon is going to suffer the fate as other countries are suffering?
Déjà, je vous dis que nous sommes dans un globe de grande hypocrisie. Je vais vous donner 3 éléments fondamentaux des relations en géostratégie et des relations au niveau international. Il y a quoi? Il y a le hard power, il y a le soft power, il y a le smart power. Je prends l'exemple de la Chine, qui utilise le smart power pour les Africains, parce que nous, on aime bien être enrobés par les boniments. Ce n'est pas les mêmes stratégies diplomatiques qui sont utilisées avec l'Occident, parce qu'ils sont apparemment intelligents. On utiliserait donc le smart power. Mais je dois vous dire que également avec les pays de l'Asie, de la mer de Chine, c'est le hard power qui est utilisé. On peut prétendre, en termes de droit maritime, que nous sommes à 300 km d'une côte, mais on a plus de droits qu'un autre pays qui sera à 50 km d'une île. Vous comprenez? C'est absolument... Et je dois vous dire, ces 3 puissances que vous évoquez aujourd'hui, qui sont dans une sorte d'alternative, c'est-à-dire que vous avez la Chine, vous avez la Russie, vous avez les États-Unis. Chacun de ces pays a ses velléités impérialistes. C'est la Russie avec l'Ukraine, qui ne peut pas aujourd'hui prétendre accuser, n'est-ce pas, la prise en otage d'un président vénézuélien. Et la Chine également, qui a un regard sur Taïwan. Donc c'est pour vous dire que chacun, n'est-ce pas, a ses stratégies pour ses intérêts. Et c'est pour ça qu'on a très bien dit que il n'y a pas d'amitié entre les peuples, il n'y a que des intérêts. Le Cameroun, c'est un pays africain. Il ne faudrait pas qu'on se mette sur un piédestal qui n'est pas le nôtre. Ce n'est pas notre combat.
But doctor, you come to discover that when the crisis in Eastern Europe began between Russia and Ukraine, we suffered some of the economic setbacks. Today we saw how we saw the increment of petrol. Today we saw certain things. And Cameroonians, at one point in time, even after the presidential elections, we saw the post-electoral tension. People keep saying that the basic or the condition of living is a bit difficult, and people want the best. Don't you think if something is not done, or if a message from the head of state is not being made to condemn such, something might happen?
Il y a plusieurs stade de décryptage. Il y a un stade, n'est-ce pas, politico-stratégique qui n'est pas le nôtre. Vous ne savez pas ce que le président Biya dit au président Trump, même avec un interprète à côté. Ce ne sont pas les mêmes types de relations. Il ne dira jamais ce qu'ils se sont dit, même à son ministre des Relations étrangères, des Relations extérieures. Ça, je dois vous le dire. Les relations entre les présidents, n'est-ce pas, sont des relations entre les présidents. Et maintenant, il s'agit d'un doigté stratégique de décision qui consiste à savoir comment on entretient ces relations. Le Cameroun a opté, n'est-ce pas, pour des relations multilatérales avec tout le monde, n'est-ce pas, et c'est vers cela que les relations extérieures sont engagées. Et ça ne va pas changer, et je pense que nous sommes sur le bon chemin. Il ne faudrait pas que nous fassions le choix d'être le pays de chantage où convergent, n'est-ce pas, les influences de ces grandes puissances-là. Pour une raison qui est évidente. Demain, vous allez les voir être ensemble pour s'arranger et pour vous mettre en difficulté.
So you're telling us that when two elephants are fighting, is the grass that suffers?
No, first is that, but secondly is not our fight. Our fight is to make that Africa improve its development.
So the fight is in favor of the continent of Africa?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Colonel Bajek Didier. I'll come to you, Laos Ongwa. You are bubbling. You have a lot to say when it concerns this issue as civil society activists. Today, when you saw the message that the head of state, President Paul Biya, dished out to the diplomatic corps during the New Year wishes in Yaoundé today, do you think that with such a speech that stems out from #1 person in Cameroon, and with a strong collaboration that these diplomats do have with the Cameroonian community and the state of Cameroon in general, do you think that at one point in time, President Paul Biya is not happy with what is going on by, or the effects, or what Donald Trump is doing across the globe?
Thank you for that question. President Biya, during his address to the diplomatic corps, effectively condemned the invasion of Venezuela, as he has done for many other invasions. You know, President Biya is a very legal mind who respects international law and you know, the international community, and he has worked a lot to do that. In the early 90s, when Cameroon was attacked by Nigeria over the Bakassi Peninsula, he condemned it and even took the case to court, where he won. This time around, he has you know, castigated the attack against Venezuela. It is very normal, because as a country that has suffered attack, Cameroon would not like to see another country being attacked. Let me finish. But to me, there is danger in the offing for that declaration that President Biya made. And I want to use this opportunity to say that we have to be very careful. We have to be careful in the sense that, you know, as the Colonel just said, international relations is a game of vested interest. And Cameroon is at the threshold of a new world order. President Biya condemned the act in Venezuela, and for the first time in my life, President Biya condemned somebody that France supports. The support that President Macron gave to the action in Venezuela, and President Biya counteracting that act, could put Cameroon in a very difficult situation.
Cameroon is a sovereign state.
Yes, there's no problem. It's a sovereign state. But it could put Cameroon in a very dangerous situation. Why do I say this? you know, there are lots of cracks on the walls of Cameroon's unity. Anglophone crisis, Boko Haram, post-election violence. Such a declaration could anger Trump, and he uses one of these cracks on the walls of Cameroon to effect regime change in this country. So if I were him, I would do my speech without even mentioning or without even talking about the position of Cameroon vis-a-vis the invasion of Venezuela.
Thank you very much, Lawson Nangwa. I'll come to you, Chijirone. It is very obvious that you have an insight. You are a communicator with the SDF party, and one day, in case you have the possibility, your party might become might lead in the country, or maybe some of your persons might be the president of Cameroon today. Now, when you look at the declarations of President Paul Biya during his address to this diplomatic corps, do you think that there was something that was omitted?
That there was something that was
omitted in relation to the invasion or the raids of Donald Trump's and the continuous warnings to other nations?
Well, before I comment on whether something was omitted or not, it's important to make a brief recall with respect to who was talking, President Paul Biya. You see, the history of international relations, like the colonel said, is an issue of interest. And most often, leaders do make unhealthy alliances when those alliances actually favor their interests. Very selfish leaders. And at one point, you must have heard the declarations of Henriette Ekwe, who mentioned the two nations, France and the United States of America, with respect to their role during the 1992 presidential elections. And after the presidential election, Henriette Ekwe states that the American ambassador to Cameroon went to my spiritual father, the late chairman of the SDF, John Frundi, and told him that, Mr. Chairman, you have won the election, but France is saying no. And we cannot guarantee you coming to power, but we want you to come within the institutions, and then we will see how we can play later. If this story is true, it means that President Paul Biya was aware that he lost the election and that he is now
since you're working on speculations. It means you yourself, the statement isn't worthy of appreciation. So if it is a speculation, we don't think actually that's supposed to be
speculation. The words of Henriette Ekwe are out there. She has said it time without number. So permit me say it. And we of the SDF, we have always, we still maintain that we won that election. So let me say what she said. And if I'm believing that, if President Paul Biya knows if what Henriette Ekwe is saying, it means that President Paul Biya in 1992 knew that he lost the election and that he is now being president because a foreign power is keeping him as president. A foreign power is violating the sovereignty of Cameroon, because sovereignty has a national and an external perspective.
Now we are in an era where, of course, these international powers are flexing muscles. But in Cameroon today is a sovereign state, and Cameroon dictates what relationship it ought to have with France today.
Do you know what, sir? Do you know what? What I'm telling you, if I stand in front of President Paul Biya, I will say the very thing, sir. You have to understand this perspective, because this truth, if Cameroonians don't know them, we don't know what we are building. Some of these leaders who are crying foul today, that they are victims of this or victims of that, some of them may have sided even against their people with some of these big powers, even against their own people. This truth must be said. And now when the geostrategy or the interests of the powers are do not no longer align with their interests, or they are looking for another interlocutor, they find themselves, they start crying foul. No. So what I'm saying is, I wanted to paint a picture of the man you were listening to. That this is somebody that, if we go by the story narrated by Henriette Ekwe, he collaborated, we will presume that he collaborated. If that story is true, we will presume that he collaborated with France against the sovereignty of Cameroon. Against the sovereignty of the Cameroonian people who elected the chairman John Frundi in 1992. That said, now let us look at his comments on the issues of sovereignty and all the like. to say that
you have some few seconds.
He played his cards very well in terms of multilateralism, stating principles. I don't even see any exaggeration with respect to condemning trauma. When you see what the French president did, he's just telling you that, you know, in the real politics of international relations, they have strategic alliances that are not even determined by the law. International relations, there are certain things for now that are just principles, but in the application, they are not determined by the law. So the French president was speaking. He was not speaking guided by the law. He was speaking guided by the reality of their political arrangements, saying that he is an ally to America in this perspective, whether the law says yes or no. But President Paul Biya is not an ally in any of them. So he is free to come and state the law and say, I condemn this because according to this principle of international relations, you cannot go into another country and bring out somebody's president. He was just stating the law. And so he cannot be found wanting. He cannot be found wanting. And what weight does his statement have to stop America from doing whatsoever America is doing? There is nothing that is problematic at that level. But we have to understand that, especially the nations of the South, if you don't build national sovereignty, internal national sovereignty properly, you make external national sovereignty vulnerable. That is having leaders that are actually elected by the people in offices. If you don't have such leaders, you know that you are making external sovereignty vulnerable. Either powers will impose you, or at one point in time, powers can be used from somewhere to take you off.
Thank you very much, Tijirone. I'll come to you, Dr. Moise Mbok. You are a political communications strategist. You are aware of what is going on across the globe today. Cameroon's relationship with the United States of America, is it deteriorating based on the declarations of President Paul Biya during his New Year wishes to the ambassadors to Cameroon? Do you think that President Paul Biya was expected to say things that are in favor of Donald Trump?
No, in fact, when you listen to what happened, the doyen of the Machi Court said a lot of good things about him. He's a wise man. He's a representative of Africa. You know, he is the one in charge and so on. He said a lot of good things, and he responded to that, saying that, okay, I'm talking as an old man, an elder, and it's a general point of view. It's not my point of view. And he said it, you know, in a very wise way. He said, we had some conventions. We signed some conventions. But with time, you can discover that so many things are happening in the world. Maybe it's time to sit down and to fix them. This is what he said. He never condemned Trump. He never said, I'm okay with what is happening to Venezuela.
Dr. Moise Mbok, that statement that you just made corroborates now to a situation presently. Donald Trump is stemming out from international conventions. A lot of them, he is no longer part of these conventions. Do you think that at one point in time there will be a day if the country of Cameroon doesn't align with some of his policies, something might happen?
Something might happen just because diplomacy have different levels. Those who are strong dictate their law, you know, and America today is one of the strongest countries in the world. Cannot argue it. Now,
in terms of military capability
and
economy,
everything, the economy and so on. Now, when you take America, Russia, China, the colonel says it, they have their way of doing things, and their partners must follow. Now, the way you follow them depends on your vision, your interest, and your wisdom. And no one can argue that Paul Biya is a wise man. No one can argue that one. And this is what I'm saying, that his speech...
So is it wise to an extent that somebody is abducting a president, an elected president in a country, not trying, he doesn't want to try the person in his own country with his own laws, but actually taking the person out of within the borders of his country to another country to implement the law of his country? Do you think actually this is something that ought to be welcomed by President Paul Biya?
Listen, what is wisdom? Wisdom is saying the law. And the law is saying that there is United Nations handling this kind of situations, not Bolivia, not Cameroon. We cannot step in and behave as if we are now judge of the world. We are not.
Is Donald Trump above the law?
No, listen.
But that's not the first time that is not the first time.
President Bolivia spoke about
Remember,
the law. He spoke
Noriega.
about the laws and the conventions we signed.
Yes.
They are violated, and we believe we have to change them to bring them back on the spot. This is what he said. So, out of this wisdom, he cannot step out and condemn it. No way. He's talking in front of various diplomats, those who are partners with the US, partners with Venezuela, partners with Africa, and so on. He cannot stand and say any kind of things. For me, he spoke as a wise man, because it was on generalities. He never went into a specific thing. No, it was generalities. We sign laws. The world is going way wild, and we believe that we have to arrange, we have to fix things. So what you have to take from his speech is that United Nations must have more power, more capabilities to talk to strong nations. This is what he was saying. Now, Africa do not have this kind of voice to talk to the US or to Russia.
Cameroon, actually, Africa, there's no African country that is actually
member of the UN
Security Council.
And now, the other thing is that in diplomacy, there are things you see and there are things you don't see. And the colonel was saying it. The way you talk to a president, the way presidents talk to themselves, they can say the truth. That, my brother, this thing you did, you know, between themselves they can talk. But when it comes to general relations in regard of the world, there are things you cannot say, because you respect your partnership, you respect the laws we sign, you respect different things. So for me, today, President Paul Biya represented Africa very well by what he said. He never condemned, he never appreciated, he just said that this thing is one of the things that is happening in the world. Ukraine, Taiwan, Venezuela, and we don't want another country to receive this kind of violence.
Thank you very much, Doctor. You have something to say?
I want to
we are almost coming to the end of the program.
Absolutely, but the best one for the end. And I want to encourage you to read the deviance of the international regulation by Soraya Sidani.
Cameroonians are listening.
Yes,
The
deviance of the international regulation by Soraya Sidani, and you'll see that the international rules have a variable geometry. So you have to know that, and you have to know the difference in the managing of the United Nations and the Security Council. Is what you have to understand of this problem. You can say what you want. You can be unanimous to condemn the United States, but in the Security Council, you have the vote.
In fact.
Okay. And the US has to have the veto power.
In fact, so
that's what
I think that Paul Biya has said something on behalf of the Africa voice.
Yeah,
is what he has said.
Exactly.
Responding to the ambassador of Equatorial Guinea.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Colonel Didier Abajek. You have a word to say. We are coming to the end of this program, of course. You have some few seconds. Barrister Donald Trump today, his actions are questionable. He is coming out from various legal instruments are being condemned by his nations, and relationships are being shattered today, and he's saying that is he all powerful? Actually, is he all powerful to maybe migrate off some of these legal instruments? And today he's claiming to be that kind of person that people do appreciate a lot, while others are condemning. What do you have to say about this in relations to the presence of Cameroon towards this issue?
I think the President of the United States is solely responsible to the people of the United States, and his actions can better be judged by the people who elected him in office. As a Cameroonian, I think if it is not because we have a leader who for the past has even been a friend of the international community, things which are going on in the United States will not even call my attention in one way or the other. Because talking about sovereignty, Cameroon has the same power like the United States. If we can develop our own self to impose what we have as well to the international community. So I don't see why somebody
Barrister, economically there are certain restrictions that the state of Cameroon cannot adhere to, rather. And when we talk about even in terms of politics, there are certain things that Cameroon, of course, it is an African country, and some of these power, as they say in code, were power, to impose on less developed countries in the world today. Now, when you look at the situations in Cameroon and relations to America, Cameroon in the past years and even presently claim to have a very positive relationship with Washington. Now, do you think that with the escalation of these rates and warning and so on and so forth, and with the relationship between Cameroon and China and Russia, and now the presence of US is being manifesting all over the world, do you think in the days ahead something might hit the country?
I don't think anything can hit the country per se, but it doesn't mean that it cannot happen. I am not God. I don't. Let's limit ourselves to what happened there, and for something to happen in Cameroon, I think Mr. Longsome Numfo talked about Cameroon subscribing.
You have some few seconds.
Cameroon subscribing to international law. It is true that Cameroon subscribes to international law, but you know that as well Cameroon does not respect international law, because take about human rights. Yeah. Take about human rights in Cameroon. If human rights in Cameroon is the law to say that if the conventions were to be respected, then Cameroon will be held responsible. But if we are decrying that Cameroon and it keeps being that, it means that international relations is on interest, as Dr. was Banjet talked of. So looking about what has taken place in Venezuela and what the President of the Republic said, talking about...
So you respect the decisions or the messages that President Pobia sent, because he insists on the respect of international law, and you buy that?
I'm not even... that is why I say, I for one, I don't even go for international law, but I look into what benefits my people, because President Trump doing what he's doing is not doing for his personal self, but he's looking into what will serve America great again. If I'm in the place of President Pobia, I should not look about what he's doing, but I should look about what will make Cameroon great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you very much, dear panelists, for such an edification. Your last word, you have some few seconds.
Yes,
You're already out of time. Please, just some few seconds.
Just to say that all what is happening is underlining two things. We as Africans have to work on our national sovereignty, make sure that we have leaders are truly democratically elected and reflect the will of the people. Secondly, we have to be driving towards African unity. When we have African unity, we will be able to impose a new vision of the world. And I think that we have been victims of a lot of injustice. And if we have African unity, we will be able to pacify.
We will
put forward a vision, the vision of a new world that is more just, and where people are not just, imposing their will on others because they are powerful.
Dr. Colonel Bajek, your last words, a few seconds.
I want
in
to
French
say,
or in English?
Yes, no, I want to say that is it enough? And we have, first of all, to look at what we have to create it to build the unity of the Africa. And we know that the Africa is the alternative of tomorrow. I want to tell you that in 2015, the Nigeria will be the 9th.
2050?
Yes.
Yeah, 50.
9th
most populated country in the world.
And ils seront devant l'Allemagne. 9e puissance mondiale.
For Germany.
Why don't talk about Agenda 2063?
Thank you. Your last words.
Please.
You have something to say again.
No,
for me, considering I love my country so much and I don't want any foreign intervention in this country, and because of that, I am calling on President Biya to organize a reconciliatory dialogue that will bring all Cameroonian sons and daughters at home and abroad to one table, so that we seal the cracks on the walls of our disunity, so that foreign power should not take advantage of our disunity to come and attack us like they have done to Venezuela and other countries.
Thank you.
Trump was relying on poorly organized elections in Venezuela, and in '89, Reagan would base his attack on Panama because of drug trafficking and poorly organized elections.
Thank you.
in Panama.
Thank you very much.
Let us avoid some of these things so that these foreign powers will not have any
Thank you. Your last word,
excuse to come and attack us.
Few seconds.
African Union is different states strong by themselves
Thank you.
and coming together to make Africa